Hello, welcome back again. December 12th, 2021, on Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. This year, around June, one of my best friend, Wayne Poole, passed away. Now, back when this happened, I already spoken extensively about it, so uh, I'm not going to rehash uh, ground that we already went over. But when Wayne was alive, one of the things that him and I liked to do, or he really enjoyed doing, was dream interpretation or dream reading. I remember so clearly many of our conversation would start with greetings, how's everything? And then uh, Wayne would say, hey, um, I had such a strange dream the other night. I wrote it all down as soon as I woke up, and I want to share it with you and see what you read from it. And he would tell me of his dream, and we would spend the next half an hour or an hour trying to glean meanings and symbols from that dream, and then the topic would move on to other things. Wayne was always interested in dreams. He believed that dreams had multiple facets of deep meanings. Maybe sometimes it's part of our memory. Maybe sometimes it's a glimpse into the future. Or maybe sometimes it is us living a different life in a different dimension at that exact time. A couple of days ago, I lay down in the middle of the day to take one of my very rare but very appreciated power nap. And I had such a vivid dream that I couldn't help but wonder if my good buddy Wayne was still alive, what kind of great conversation him and I would have had after I woke up and told him of this dream. So, in memory of my dream interpreting, dream reading, very wise grandfatherly friend, I'm going to share this dream with all of you today. And who knows, maybe you will, at the very least, be entertained by it. Before I go into this, let me just quickly say that whenever I dream, I am fully sighted. My vision is magically restored in my dream, not just in the abstract way, but in almost full color. So in my dreams, for example, I can appreciate the blue of the sky, the vastness of the ocean, the green of the summer forest. I can appreciate things that when during my waking hour, I have no real concept of. Isn't that weird? Maybe it's a fragment of my unconscious memory left over from things I saw and witnessed as a child when I still had my vision. Anyway, before we digress too far, let's go back to my dream, shall we? In my dream, I was camping with a bunch of friends, and As far as I can remember, the dream started as me getting ready to leave. We were leaving the campsite. We were packing up the jeep. Well, that's I remember that. Isn't that strange? I remember we were driving a jeep and we were packing up, collapsing the tents, and making sure we had everything we needed. When someone said, "Whoa, look behind us!" and we looked around, and there's this huge forest fire behind us. And in the dream, I could see the fire rolling in from very far away, and the fire just roll along the floor and kind of get higher and higher as it got closer, like the wind was picking it up and it was dipping down, enveloping the trees, and the whole forest was catching on fire. Someone said, "Let's get out of here. Come on, if we get in the car, we can still get out of here." And my friends all piled into the car. But for some reason, I stood there mesmerized by this rolling tide of flame that just drifting in. And then I noticed a bird, not a particularly pretty bird or majestic bird. It was kind of a stupid looking bird, to tell the truth. It was trapped. It was sitting on a section of log, and there was flame all around the log, just leaping up all around it. And for some reason, this bird couldn't fly. Uh, it was like a small parrot, uh, kind of green and red, uh, and fragile looking. My friend said, "Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's get in the car." I said, "I need to get the bird. You guys go ahead." And my friend drove off without me. And I walked over and managed to get a long stick to the bird, and the bird grabbed onto the stick, and I lifted out of the surrounding flame. And I put the bird on my shoulder, and the two of us, me and this stupid bird, stood there watching the forest burn. But from our perspective, the fire was huge. It almost like the whole world was burning. And we just stood there, this bird and I, the bird sitting on my shoulder, and we just look at this fire. And then the bird whispered in my ear, "I bet that you wish your father would have made different decisions, maybe better decisions in his life, don't you?" And I said, "Hell yeah. If he made better decisions, then my life would have been a lot better. Our family life would have been a lot better. His life would have been a lot better." So yeah, of course, I think he made some stupid decision. I think that he definitely could have made some better decisions. The bird said, "Now watch this." And in the dancing flame of this giant forest fire before us, like playing of a movie, or like how some people describe when they say their whole life flashed before them when they're about to die. Except in this case, it's not my life, it's my father's life. I saw him as a child. I saw him getting bullied in school. I saw him going back and started bullying others himself. I saw him uh, first started to gamble, and I saw him trying to run over uh, an enemy with his car. I saw him being banished to Hong Kong. I saw him becoming a millionaire. I saw him getting shot in the face by an assassin. His whole life played out in front of me, every bit as real as if I was there. And then the bird said, "Now watch this." And then the same story, or what I thought was the same story, started playing over again. Except this time, my father made different decisions. And again and again, my father's life flashed before me in the flame 100 times, maybe 1,000 times. It was crazy. It was a short dream, but it's like I experienced my father's life in 1,000 different variations, so much so that I can't remember most of them. But I clearly remember in one of them, he chose not to gamble. He chose to save his money and the family fortune. But later in life, the pressure of business and the pressure of um, the family and all that dragged him down, and he became an alcoholic and died of alcoholism. In another variation, my father decided not to run over his enemy with his car, but then years later, someone who worked for that enemy ended up shooting him dead. Long story short, every one of these variations, no matter what kind of decision my father made, ended up in tragic ways, and a lot of them were a lot worse than his current predicament. The bird said to me, said, "See, your father could have made all those different decisions, and it really wouldn't have made that big of a difference. It would still end up really bad in the end." And I remember saying to the bird in a plaintive, whiny tone, I said, "But why? Why is it all bad ending? Why can't there be good ending too?" And the bird said, "Well, firstly, I didn't design this. I only show it to you. Secondly, there are good endings, but I can't show them to you because in those endings you would have never existed." And then my dream, like the winding down of a movie, started to fade to black, everything started to slow down, and I woke up. I'm not a religious person, but the first feeling I had, the first thought in my head when I woke up from that dream, that weirdly complete, weirdly cohesive dream, was good grief. I just received a communication from the God, I think. My heart was very heavy when I woke up, but strangely relieved at the same time. I don't know, even now, I don't know what to read from that dream, how much to take it seriously, and I definitely don't know how the rest of you will choose to interpret that dream. But I truly believe that there was some truth in it. I think if my father's life was good, or if my father had made the kind of decision that would have resulted in great, wonderful endings, most likely he wouldn't have met my mother. most likely I would not have been born. Or maybe I would have been born, but he wouldn't have had the money to keep me alive when I got struck down with Steven Johnson syndrome, and I would have died when I was 3 years old. I don't know if this strangely vivid dream was all just a figment of my imagination, or maybe a little bird sent from somewhere by somebody did take that chance when I was taking a nap to whisper a fundamental truth in my ears.